this week's Torah reading, Parashat Miketz, we find the dream of Pharaoh. Pharaoh dreams, first of all, of 7 fat cows coming out of the river, the Nile River, and they were standing over there eating, etc. Then 7 thin cows come out of the same river, and they were standing by the 7 fat cows. And afterwards, these thin cows swallowed up the fat cows, and it looked as if they didn't eat anything. That's the first part of the dream. Second part of the dream, Pharaoh dreamed of 7 ears of grain, very nice, fat, nice grain. And then 7 very thin, very ugly grains grew up and ate the 7 fat grains. Basically the same idea, first part of the dream with cows, second part of the dream with grain. And Pharaoh woke up and he didn't know what was going on. He called up many people, etc., to try to understand and interpret the dream. And then the story is known. You can go and look at the text. Now, in the previous parsha, we find actually the dreams of Yosef. Parshas Vayeshev, we find the dreams of Yosef. And Yosef dreamed also of different things. However, his dreams were kind of different. First of all, Yosef dreamed of him and his brothers gathering up grain and stalks of grain in the field. And they were gathering, etc., etc., and the grains, the stalk of grains of the brothers, they bowed down to his own stalk of grain. Very nice. Then he dreamed of the sun, the moon, the stars, and he was like a star, and everybody was, again, bowing down to his own star, etc. If we compare the dreams of Yosef and the dreams of Pharaoh, we can find a very simple and interesting way to discern between what's Kedusha, what's sanctity, what's connection to God, what's goodness, etc., and what's usually called in the Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, Hasidus, etc., Klippa. Klippa literally means a shell, but it refers to impurity, against God, etc., darkness, etc. What's the difference? If you see the dreams of Yosef, they were gathering things, they were working, they were doing something. Kedusha, sanctity, is about working with yourself, working with your family, working with the world around you. Life is to work. Actually, it's a verse. Man was born to toil, to work hard. In the dream of Yosef, we find people, so to speak, working, doing things, accomplishing things in the world. In the dreams of Pharaoh, we don't find anybody working. It's just cows coming here and down, eating things. And Pharaoh was, so to speak, just watching, like, look what's going on. But it didn't work anything. So the first thing you have to use, you have to use to distinguish between Kedusha, sanctity, and Klippa, impurity, is there work involved or not? If there's no work involved and suddenly, you're going to have results and it's going to be amazing, you should know this is not connected to God, so to speak. Second point, if you see in the dreams of Pharaoh, he went from up, down, from above to below. First of all, he dreamed of cows. Cows are the animal kingdom, so to speak. And then he dreamed of grain. Grain is the vegetable kingdom. So you go from animals to vegetables, from up, down. In the dreams of Yosef, you see exactly the opposite. First of all, he dreamed of grain in the ground, over here, down here. And then he dreamed of stars and moon and the sun, etc., up there, so to speak. The same thing happens when you are trying to distinguish between sanctity and impurity. Sanctity is always going up. In the language of the Talmud, Mailim Bakoidesh, we always add up, we always go higher and higher in sanctity. Klippa, on the other side, on the other way, the impurity, the unconnected to God, so to speak, not connection to God, is always from up, down, always going down. In your personal life, if you find a specific thing that's causing you, is generating depression, difficulties, bad feelings, etc., you should know there's something over there connecting to impurity. Now, there's a famous word of the Shalom. Rabbi Shaya Horowitz, he lived in Eretz Yisrael, in Prague, in Eretz Yisrael, in 1600s, the middle of 1600s. He wrote down that every single parsha, every single weekly reading is connected to the time of the year when this is read. And the time of the year is Chanukah right now. Chanukah is a holiday of lights. We light lights and we remember the miracles that God did for us in the times of the Second Temple, towards the end of the times of the Second Temple. I'm not going to go into the details of Chanukah, but the point is that the way we actually celebrate Chanukah is by lighting lights. And the first day you light one candle, and the second day you light the second candle, and the third day you light the third candle, and so on until 8 candles. This is exactly what we just explained before. In Kedushin sanctity, we always add light. We always go forward, move on. And what do the Chanukah lights teach you? That even when you did everything correct and perfect the first day, you lit one candle and it was right. You did what was supposed to be done. However, in the second day, you have to do more. You have to add up more lights. And the third day, you did everything perfect in the second day. You light 2 candles, you lit 2 candles. You have to do more in the third day because the rule is you have to move on always in Kedusha. That's something we can see the connection between the dreams of Pharaoh Yosef, going always up with work, and the holiday of Chanukah.